of all, $1,000 is a very small amount to spend on a wedding ring or an engagement ring. Second of all, y'all seem to accept anything. Why aren't you married?
Hey guys, it's your girl AnnaTalk, and it's where I talk and you listen, and then you get to put your opinions down below. So let's get straight into it. I'm trying to figure out like a new beginning, like sentence to start my videos. When I find the perfect one, you guys will know because it will be in every single video. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so basically, what this discussion is, it's about pretty much, does the ring price matter? Does the ring, like, if someone was to give you a $20 ring, would you say yes? You know what I mean? And the thing about it is that it's a different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? Like, everyone is different. Everyone prefers certain things, and that's okay. Everyone has a preference. But the problem is, there's this one person on TikTok that posted the proposal. Someone proposed to them with a Pandora ring. And of course, we don't know their situation. We don't know what's going on, right? So obviously, you just say congratulations. But some people were like, oh my gosh, if someone proposed to me with a Pandora ring, I'd be offended, blah, blah, blah. They're saying all these things and acting as if they were the one being proposed when they were not. So we're going to go into these two videos, and I want you guys to watch this one, which I'm going to show you, and I want to see you guys' thoughts on it, so comment down below. But yeah, this is what he said.
When it comes to the type of rings that people being proposed to with, y'all know how to act out sometimes, because I just watched a video of this girl get proposed to with a Pandora ring, and people are coming at her talking about some, oh my God, I could never get proposed to with a Pandora ring. You're not even getting proposed to. And once again, I'm going to make my statement again. If you feel some type of way due to the type of ring you got, you know, we already know how they feel about cluster rings. But now I see we're adding Pandora rings to the list. If you feel like you wouldn't accept a marriage and or somebody proposing to you due to the type of ring they use, you don't care about the marriage. You care about the materialistic item of the marriage. Because at the end of the day, as they say, you can upgrade a ring at any time. But you just being ungrateful in that moment is the biggest red flag we could ever talk about. So if it is a cluster ring, if it is a Pandora ring, if it's a ring from Amazon or Walmart and you turn your nose up to that ring, you don't deserve that ring. You don't deserve that gesture.
We're going to go straight to this other video where she shows another opinion.
Cecilia, the shut up ring lady, I've been summoned and I couldn't wait to answer. So, loser men who are broke often say that if you won't accept a low quality ring, you don't care about the quality of the marriage or the relationship. That's what users say because they're trying to get the most out of you for the least amount of investment. That's what the ring signifies. It signifies the investment. He says material things don't matter. Okay, so when he asks you for a PS5, go bring him a used Nintendo 64, because material things don't matter, right? He asked you to prepare dinner, hands him a plate of that plastic food, your children give to their dolls, because material things don't matter. All that matters is love in the relationship, right? If he wants a little physical relief, and he asks you to do a certain kind of job, tell him he can get it done himself with his hand, right? The end result is the same. Whether you give him some brain or whether he does it with his hand, it's the exact same thing, right? Because all rings are the same, all jobs are the same. He's going to change his tune real quick. A guy like this wants to get you a cheap ring and also stick you with 100% of the childcare, 100% of the domestic chores, 100% of all the work around the house. He's going to do nothing and expect you to do all that other stuff while also expecting you to work. It's also why he said in the beginning of the video that he was talking about women critiquing another woman's Pandora ring on a video that she put up. Oh, women like this aren't even getting proposed to. First of all, you don't know that. You don't know whether these women are married or not in the comments. But that's why he made that statement. Men like this want to turn the actual act of proposing or getting married into the prize. So that's all they have to do in order to compete. He can propose to you with some dusty cluster ring or a ring pop, and you're supposed to be over the moon about it. A lot of people had a lot of things to say when I said, based off that whole ring pop thing with Sophie and Joe Jonas, in addition to many, many other red flags in their relationship, I said, this isn't going anywhere. This is going to end in a divorce. Oh, you're bitter. Oh, you're jealous. Not a month later, they were getting divorced, and everybody had to come crawling back and say, oh my God, you were right. I'm not clairvoyant, guys. I can just read the signs. When a man has the resources and he can do better and he doesn't, it's not cute or kitschy. It just means he doesn't like you. And if a man is not striving to honor you and honor the commitment, give you a symbol of love that shows his intention and his care and his, knowledge of you and what you like, he doesn't want you. He wants a cheap maid. For broke men, a wife is nothing but a beast of burden, okay? She's the maid, the secretary, the cheerleader, the psychologist, the chef, the chauffeur, all the things he cannot afford rolled into one, okay? So stop falling for that crap. He doesn't love you. He just wants a cheap way to get all the labor he can't afford on his own. We've done the math before, but if he spends $500 on a ring for a penny a day, he is getting services that he could never afford. That's the breakdown after about 5 years. He is getting all these services for a cheap $500 ring, and you know you're worth more than that, okay? And he is not cheap with anything he wants. Look at this guy and his hat he's probably using to cover up his bald head. I bet this hat cost a pretty penny, His sneakers, his gaming system, his phone, his setup, all that stuff cost money. So why aren't you entitled to some of that same investment? He doesn't like you. Oh, and now he's used their favorite word, ungrateful. Some of you all are ungrateful. You don't have to be grateful for substandard treatment, okay? Ungrateful is one of those con words people use to flip the script on you when you call them out for nonsense. You know how HR at your job might say you're ungrateful when you complain that you didn't get the raise you are promised by your contract. You are down for 5%, they only give you 2. Oh, you're being ungrateful. It's the economy. You should be grateful to even have a job. I shouldn't be grateful because I'm not getting what I'm entitled to. You're right. In this particular case, you don't owe me anything. You don't have to get me a certain type of ring, but you're also not entitled to my yes. I'm not ungrateful because I'm not getting into a contract that doesn't serve me. You're greedy because you're trying to get everything for nothing. You made an offer, I rejected it. Move on. And to all the women bigging him up in the comments, did y'all get picked yet? Oh, y'all aren't even getting proposed to. People get $1,000 rings and don't even make it to be married. First of all, $1,000 is a very small amount to spend on a wedding ring or an engagement ring. Second of all, y'all seem to accept anything. Why aren't you married? I know money isn't the barrier. These are low quality things. I'm truly sorry that some people's parents taught them that they don't deserve the best, but you do, okay? I don't care what somebody else has told you in your lifetime. I don't care if they told you you're only ever going to get married by settling and putting up with anything and, holding him down and letting him, know, oh, he knows where home is and just taking his bad treatment. It's not true. Marriage should not be a precursor to suffering. It's supposed to be a union. It's supposed to be about him making a commitment to honor you and treat you well, and an exchange of love and devotion. So if he doesn't care about your style, if he doesn't care about something that's going to make you happy, if he doesn't care about the things that you value in the beginning, what makes you think the marriage is going to be any better? He's not treating you at least as well as he treats himself. He's not buying himself knockoff Jordans, is he? Did he buy himself an old, beat up, battered, refurbished phone? No, he got the new iPhone. He got the new Galaxy. He got whatever it is that he wanted. So why doesn't he give you that same kind of treatment?
Okay, so you see that video, right, guys? So I understand what she's saying, but I don't agree. Okay, how the way she's talking, it sounds from a materialistic standpoint, and she cares about the material. She cares about, and that's okay. Most women are like that, but honestly, what this guy is saying is that it shouldn't be just about the ring. And I think there's kind of like a she's not really understanding what he's saying. The thing that I didn't really understand was when she is saying that he thinks like that. It's not necessarily that he would do that to his girlfriend or whatever. The main problem is some people, not her, not just her, but some people will come after someone because they don't agree with the type of ring that someone else's man gave them. Basically, the ring is not, it doesn't exemplify your worth. It shouldn't, you know what I mean? It's how he treats you. Not only that, but I saw this video of this girl said after her marriage, after her wedding day, she found out that her husband was a narcissist. Do you realize that a guy can put on a whole persona, like pretend like he's the perfect guy for you and then switch up after you guys are married? Like, just because he gave you a big, huge ring and is treating you like she said, he's treating you like you're worth whatever, it doesn't mean that they can't switch up.
This is the first red flag that I got from my narcissistic ex-husband when we first got married. So if you've been following me for a while or you know anything really about narcissists, is that they are master manipulators. So stuff like this that happened in our marriage, from literally the story that I'm about to tell that happened on our honeymoon, it didn't happen while we were dating. There was obviously little red flags here and there that I obviously completely ignored or was just so like love bombed into not seeing them, that when stuff like this happened after we got married, after the paper was signed and everything, I was like, oh crap. So before there's any judgment about, you chose this, you chose to marry him, but you know, all those people that obviously know what they're talking about, remember that they're master manipulators and they can get anyone to do anything, basically. When we got married, there was a flip that was switched. Immediately when we got married, it's like he was like, okay, now you are trapped. Now I can do what I want. And this is the first thing that happened. So we were on our honeymoon. We went on a cruise for our honeymoon. And I had been on a couple cruises before. He had not. It was the day that we were getting off the boat because we landed in Mexico. So, okay, yeah, let's get off the boat. Let's go. Number one, we didn't have a good amount of time. Like, we didn't have all day. You know, if you've ever been on a cruise, you know that there's a certain time. And if you're not back on the boat at a certain point, then they will leave you. So he is like, I'm on vacation. I want to sleep in. That's fine. But at the same time, like, we're kind of on a schedule because we also had, like, a thing that we had to go do at a certain time. So I was already a little bit stressed out, and he did use sleep as control so much, where he would get so high, so drunk, that he would sleep until like 2 in the afternoon most days. And if I was like, hey, we have somewhere to be, it would immediately be a fight. That's how the day started, is that he was oversleeping, and he was already a little bit pissed off at me because I was reminding him that we had plans on our honeymoon. Once again, I can see all of the comments coming in of, oh, you were already nagging him on your honeymoon? No, I was just, reminding him. So everything started before we even got off the boat. There's a certain way that you have to get off the boat. There's an intercom telling you how to do it. There's signs telling you where to go. There's people who have been on cruises before that could tell you how to do it. But you know what? I was like, he seems like he knows where he's going. Let's just follow him. I'm keeping my mouth shut, and I'm thinking, I know that we're going the wrong way. I know that we are. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let him do what he wants to do. Because he was already mad at me for waking him up. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let him do his thing. After like 15 minutes of just wandering around, how do we get off this boat? How? But anyway, I tell him, hey, I'm sorry, it's this way. Like, we've got to go this way. And he's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I tell him, like, I've been on a cruise before. I'm listening to the intercom. I'm reading the signs. Like, I'm just trying to help us. I start walking this way, and I touch his arm, not grab his arm. In his version of the story, I grab his arm like this, and I'm like, come on. That's not how that happened. I grabbed, like this, my newlywed husband's arm on our honeymoon, and he reared his arm back, put his hand up at me, and said, I'm the man, you're the woman, you do what I say, I'm not listening to you. Great feeling on your honeymoon. So he stands there like that. I stand there looking at him, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? And no, he doesn't have the courage to hit me. But he does decide to not talk to me for a few hours, probably 3 to 4 hours of our honeymoon. We somehow find our way off the boat. Immediately, I need a drink. I need to go get a drink. I'm like, okay. So we go, And we literally just sit at this restaurant with him drinking beer for like another hour, and he's just not talking to me. So whenever he finally stops the silent treatment, he looks at me and goes, I had a feeling this is how it was gonna be, and I just need to let you know right now how this is gonna work. So I'm like, okay, here we go. What's about to be said? And he goes, well, the Bible does tell us that wives submit to their husbands. And I didn't see a good example of that today. You trying to lead us as if you were the husband off the boat when I clearly had it handled, that's not you submitting. So what we are gonna do is you're gonna submit to me and we're gonna do what I say. You can have your opinions, but final say is from me. Side note, yes, the Bible does say that. The Bible did not say that you can use that to control your wife. Because I can go on a rant about that all day. But he was using this completely out of context to completely control me.
Yeah, so the rest of the videos it's going to be in the link on my bio, because the videos someone included in this are kind of long. But you got the gist of what happened in her marriage, whatever. I'm not saying that it's always going to happen, but I'm just saying, like, the idea of getting this big ring and he's going to treat you good for the rest of your life. Like, do you realize that rich men cheat? Some rich men cheat, you know what I mean? I'm not saying all of them do, but a majority of people who marry rich men, I've seen stories all over on the internet. Who, for example, what's his name? Cardi's husband, Offset. He cheated on Cardi B. I mean, Cardi B is rich too, but you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. They give you this big wedding, they give you this whole thing, whatever, and they still will cheat. They will still act bummy. So it doesn't matter if he gives you a $50 ring or a 50,000 ring. It might not, you know what I mean? Like, you never know what might happen after that. Anyways, case closed. I respectfully understand. I know what she's coming from, and yes, your worth does matter. But like, are you gonna base your worth on a ring? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it should be on how he treats you. It should be on, does he treat you like a prince? Like, is this someone that you really want to marry? Is this someone that, like, yes, he gave you a $90 Pandora ring, but is it really? You know what I mean? And also, like, we can be mature adults, and talk to that person, that the boyfriend that we potentially want to marry, one day, and be like, hey, if you're ever gonna marry me one day, this is what I prefer. Or, hey, if you're thinking about marrying me, I don't prefer Pandora rings, but this is the type of ring that I want. And yeah, and then if he really, loves you or whatever, another ring that's bigger and that's more, but like, now I wanted to add a little point to the point that she made. If a man's willing to do that and take advantage of you and make you, especially if you don't know your worth or whatever, then that man is not for you. You know what I mean? I feel like we're confusing the ones with the healthy relationships. We're confusing the ones that their men are actually, they love their girlfriend, they love their woman, and they want to make them their wives. You know what I mean? I think what it is there are men out there that will take advantage of, girls, and they play with their heart. And so I think this is coming from a standpoint of, like, you have to know your worth so he doesn't, you know what I mean? And I get it. I get it, because you don't want him to take advantage of you and, like, make you think that, like, you're easy to get, whatever. So I understand the point. I just don't agree with it, because I believe that there are good men out there that will not do that. Especially as a Christian, I value marriage a lot. So I wouldn't mind dealing with like a $25 ring, or to me, that's me. I personally believe that the ring doesn't matter. Like, I rather have a ring pop. And some people in the comments of this one video is saying that girls don't know their worth, but it's not about that for them. You know what I mean? Everyone has a certain standard or a certain thing that they want in their proposal and blah blah blah. And for some people like me, like, it's the thought, it's the gesture, it's the meaning behind it. You know what I mean? Like, for someone to pick up their to find the ring in the first place in their budget and try to, and go to me and propose and be like, I want you to be my wife. Person behind the ring should matter. If he's giving you, if he's giving you like a $5 ring, and you know that he could do more, and like the type of person he is, and you're like, you don't want to marry him, okay, cool. But if he's actually genuine and wants to marry you, and like right now he's at his lowest, but he wants to be with you and have you as his wife and marry you, say yes. You know what I mean? Like, it's inflation right now, so like it's very hard to even buy a $20,000 ring. Well, for me right now, like if I was a boy, I don't know. Anyways, but it's just really hard. Like when I think about the prices of how things are right now, plus the wedding, and then if you want to do engagement party, all that stuff, I don't understand why it's even an argument at all. Because in the future, he will get you probably another ring until he's able to afford the bigger one. You know what I mean? Even the comments in there, like they had the same mindset as me. Like it doesn't matter. Like he could be a $25 ring, and it's just the gesture behind it. And also, people who has gotten cheap rings literally have been together for more than 10 years. But I feel like the people who, say for example, he spends that much money on you, the ring is like $50,000. You guys get a divorce, or you guys don't even get married. Was it worth it? So, you know what I mean? Like those things that you have to think about. But at the same time, it shouldn't be like that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I just feel like it really doesn't matter. You know, the fact that people have a lot of like comments and weird things to say about other people's relationship is really weird to me. And like people need to stop doing that. Like stop basing your own preference or whatever on other people. It's just because you have this preference doesn't mean that they don't. And also stop basing your opinions on other people, like wanting them to think the way you think. Because nowadays in social media, if you don't think the way other people think, they put you down, or like they feel they're telling you to stand up, or whatever they're talking down on you. But people should be allowed to have their own opinion, express their own opinion. And in other words, you're supposed to be respectful. So I just don't really get why they were in her comments like that, talking about the Pandora ring. But anyways, I just think it's very sweet. Like even a promise ring at it, like the fact that they thought of giving me a promise ring means a lot. You know what I mean? So it's hard financially on most people nowadays. You know what I mean? The prices for housing and living and eating and breathing and car and driving, it is so hard. So for people to have these expectations as if they like that, especially if they're not born rich, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Because for a man to get to that point where he's able to spend that much, I say they have to be like maybe even up to their 30s or more. Because it's hard. There's a lot of people living with their parents, you know what I mean? And it's because they have to save money. It's because it's so hard to have money. Hi guys, so welcome to the next section of this video. We're going to be talking about how the big weddings, the whole other stuff, big shabams for weddings and engagement parties, all that is just extra. It's not extra, but like it's too much and it's overhyped. That's my opinion. I said what I said, and let's get into it because I need y'all to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. Like, planning a wedding is expensive, guys. Planning to be married is expensive, and so that's why I admire people who get eloped, go to courthouses, have a little small micro wedding, maybe have a wedding in the backyard, something that's more intimate and just based on the two people that are getting married, like just more real. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the big weddings it just feels like, I don't know. I feel like it's just overhyped because the amount of money that you're spending on that big splash wedding could be spent on a house, or it could be spent on your honeymoon, you know what I mean? And that's my plan. Like, I plan on investing more on the honeymoon more than the, you know what I mean? But anyways, I'm gonna be talking about a little bit more about what I want to do for my marriage whole thing. Like, this is my plan, okay? I'm talking about it now because we are close, we're sisters, and, you know, my plan was really just to have a small, you know, courthouse, whatever, and then eventually have a nice big wedding. But it won't be a big wedding, it will just be with my close friends, people that I didn't invite to when I initially got married, whatever. It will be more like a big party with everyone, you know. I'll have the traditional dress, everything, you know what I mean? But it won't be as, I don't want it to be too big to the point where it's like I'm losing more money. I really want to invest in my honeymoon. So that's the, you know, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Anyways, so yeah, like, I just feel like people be spending so much on their weddings.
This couple's wedding is going viral online right now, and it's reported that this wedding cost $56 million. Watch this. So this woman right here, Madeline Brockway, I don't know who she is, but this has to be the richest woman I've ever seen. Not only did they rent out this entire venue, which online is estimated to be about 550,000 euros, or like $620,000. She had hundreds and hundreds of people there, which they are also eating, drinking, everything, and had Maroon 5 playing at her wedding.
And I remember talking to this person at my old workplace. I was like, girl, how was your wedding? And she's Indian, right? So she's like, there was like 1,000 people there, and I was so stressed. Like, I wanted it to be over, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my gosh, because what these people make these weddings seem like, it makes it like, you know what I mean? It's like in my eyes, it's like a fairy tale. Like, you know, they're marrying the love of their life, they seem so happy, whatever. But behind the scenes, for some people, for some bridesmaids, they're stressed. They're full on stress. They're like, oh my gosh, like, it's stress. And I've heard from a couple people how stressed it was. And then this other girl in my workplace who was getting married like this year, or she was gonna get married the next year, but she said, you know what, this year, and she's like, I'm just gonna have a small wedding, blah blah blah. I'm like, girl, me too, because it's expensive. The photographer, to have a photographer is expensive. I was looking at the prices, you guys. it was a lot. And not only that, you have to get the dress, you have to get your hair done, you have the makeup. Guys, I'm sorry, for my wedding, I'm doing my make. If I get to that advanced stage where I'm really good at makeup, I'm doing my own makeup. My hair, I'm gonna have to start practicing now. But you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there's just so much detail, so much things that you have to put in, and effort you have to put into a wedding that it's only for one day. After the whole day, like, imagine spending 1,000, 100,000, or 200,000. I'm about to Google right now what is the average price for a wedding, like, just, you know, because I need to know. But anyways, that whole day is gone. The next day you're married, like, but all that money, you know what I mean? So at this point, you guys, I feel like we might as well have a potluck. Everybody bring your own food, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, I just feel like there's just so much to it, and I want that day to be special and intimate and very, like, rememberable. I don't want to be stressed on that day. I want to be happy on that day. Like, oh my gosh, like, that was the best day of my life, you know what I mean? I can't be stressed like that. The way I heard people were stressed, like, I can't have that happening to me. So that's why I feel like it's very overhyped. Not only that, I literally had a friend who got married randomly and posted on her Instagram and got like she was married. You know, it was a small courthouse marriage. It was beautiful. I cried. Like, even though I wasn't invited or anything, but I don't care. Like, I'm so happy that she just took the time to have that, like, just her and her husband, like, just, that intimate time. It's just so sacred, you know what I mean, between God and, wife and husband. And it's just so important to me. And I'm just so happy that she got married, like, and now she's a little cute little baby, like, you know what I mean, like, that is what I like. I just like it, you know what I mean. And I feel like sometimes a lot of people are too materialistic, and just like, even going back to the rings, the engagement rings, I feel like the reason why the girls are picky about their rings, because they're materialistic. And it's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong, but like, if you want to save money, then sometimes it's, but people do have their preference, and it is what it is. And and that's okay. That's why people are the way they are, you know what I mean? So it's like, I get it, but I also, for me, I want to be able to enjoy every second of my marriage. I mean, the married day, or the wedding day. I want to, like, each moment has to be so precious, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to be stressed every second. Oh, is the food out for the guests, like, you know what I mean? And then, anyways, but mine, I feel like my future wedding, guys, it's gonna be nice. The only thing is, which I'm gonna be talking about in future videos when I'm actually, like, really close to the day or whatever. I just, like, I feel bad about not inviting people, but as I said to you guys, like, it's an intimate time, and I only want to invite the people that I really value the most. I just don't want other people feeling, some sort of way, because, you know what I mean? But it's not about how long I've known you for. It's about how close we are, and our relationship, and how much, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I just wanted to say that, because I'm just like, wow. And there's another section that I want to talk about in this video. I want to talk about how other people seem jealous when it comes to people getting married and stuff. Like, you know how that I was talking about in the beginning, how the Pandora ring lady, the guy that proposed to the girl with the freaking man with the ring, okay, with the cheap ring or whatever. The people in the comments were attacking her, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, people are really jealous. And there's this one video that I saw my boyfriend watching, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, let me show you the video. Like, I was like, it's a video about this lady. Her coworker kept asking, is that ring real? Is that ring real? Like, why does it matter? You know what I mean? That just shows you that some people don't really care about the marriage. They like the how it looks. They like the idea of, you know what I mean?
Today I wore my engagement ring into the office for the first time, and one of my coworkers asked me, is that real? And they asked me this on 3 separate occasions. I have to admit, the first time I just kind of he'd it off, because they asked it in a way that was very joking, and I like to think that I have quite the sense of humor. But the second time that they asked me, which was maybe about 3 hours later, I was just kind of like, are you still thinking about my engagement ring and whether it's real or not? I was texting with my mom, and I told her, hey, one of my coworkers said this joke, and she did not find it funny at all. In fact, here's what she said. And my mom used to read and review contracts for a living, so best believe when my fiance brought her those papers, she read them thoroughly, okay? And I have very dark humor, so when I say that I could take a joke, I could take a joke. But once they asked the third time, I had to hit the side eye on them. It was just getting a little weird, and to be honest, I couldn't help but think, if I was anyone else, would they ask me this? And why is it out of scope for me to be able to have a real diamond ring? Who knows? But What are your thoughts? Do you think this was passive aggressiveness or just simply a joke? And also, has anyone ever asked you that question if your ring was real or not? Regardless, everyone else loved my ring. I love my ring. I know it's real, and we're not going to spend any more time on this, but I thought it was just a great story to share of my experience.
Like, they don't really, I don't feel like some people are in it for the marriage. They just want to, oh, this is my husband, he's rich. Here's my beautiful ring, it's so big. Like, you know what I mean? It's not really, they're not on that, they don't think the same. And that's why I feel like a lot of, in society these days, compared to Christian, traditional, whatever, and people who are just not Christian, they won't have the same mindset on marriage as some Christians, you know what I mean, as Christians in general. Like, we just think the same, and that's why, like, it makes it seem like some Christian women are pick me, but we're really not. We're just following how God wants marriage to be, how God wants marriage to be ordained, and you know what I mean, and how we just know that God is the center of the relationship and stuff like that. So some people are just not gonna understand that. But anyways, that was a rant. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really wanted to make this video. I hope I cleared up all the points. I don't even know. I hope I did, but I'm probably gonna do a lot of voiceovers because sometimes when I'm talking, I'm just like, you know what I mean, I'm having to sit down and talk with you guys, but usually when I'm editing, I have a lot to say. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, I just woke up, guys, and I have school today, and I've been slacking, so I have to get back on that. But like, I need motivation, guys. I need motivation. So guys, please pray for me. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next video, which I probably might be posting tomorrow again, because we love a consistent creator. Anyways, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.